Hi everyone, this is Howie Moves at Law Records, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make professional techno rumble. I'm going to be breaking this down into 3 easy to follow levels: simple, intermediate, advanced. This is a truly systematic and modern approach so that once you've watched this video, you never get stuck making this sound. So without saying too much, let's make some techno rumble. Okay, so we're in Ableton at 140 BPM, and the first thing you'll notice is I have 3 variations set up. So here's the simple, the intermediate, and the advanced way of doing this. To make techno rumble, the first thing you need is a good kick, because you're going to make the rumble from the kick itself. So we've got a kick here that's 2 layers, 1 low and 1 top. This is the low, this is the top. So it adds more click. The first thing you want to do is to resample your kick and to drop it into a simpler on another track, and it's playing the same pattern, just on the one each time. What I'm going to do is go through each of the elements. I'm going to go through how you turn this into more of a rumble. So we're going to start with some reverb, and you can choose pretty much any reverb, and you can experiment with different lengths and styles of reverb. I've gone with a hall, fairly short, it's about 1 second long. Just smooths it out a bit, and that's only on 34%. Then what you want to do is distort heavily. So I'm going to use an amp to really distort the sound. You can use lots of different types of saturation here. You can use overdrive or normal saturation. So then to turn it into a rumble, you need to put the filter on. I think anywhere from about 100 to 200 Hertz is usually the sweet spot for this. Also, we're going to use a utility to make the rumble mono, so it just sits in the center and keeps that power in the middle of the track. So just turn on the mono button here. And then of course you need to sidechain it, and you've got to try and sidechain it as closely as possible, avoiding the kick and not overlapping too much. I'm using this volume shaper Duck Buddy to do that. Okay, let's play the kick and that simple version of the rumble together. Rumble off. Okay, so that's working really well, and in some cases that can be enough. But now we're going to go to the intermediate level, where we're going to start adding a bit more energy to this. The next step is to duplicate that layer again and change some of the parameters, some of the styles of reverb. And what we're going to do is filter it a bit higher up, so it's in the mid-range a bit more. It's giving a bit more of that mid-range energy. Let's have a listen to what that sounds like, that layer. So I've moved the start point a bit to make it sound a bit different. I've changed the reverb and the length of the reverb. I've added a different type of amp, a different type of saturation. I have high pass and low pass, so it's almost like a band pass, and we're just targeting that mid-range area. And then again, sidechain, make it mono. Let's turn that layer on and off and see how that affects the sound. Another small variation of this is just to change the rhythm of the kick. In this case, I've done a 16th note arpeggiator, so it's kind of quite driving and fast. Let's listen to that with the original rumble. Yeah, so you can do all sorts with that second layer as well. This is the advanced method, and this is where you really take your rumble to the next level. Because a lot of the rules go out the window here. This level is designed to add more rhythm and more sort of drive and groove and dynamics to your rumble. But you have to make sure it fits in with the rumble and sounds like it's part of the same thing. First, I've got a tom groove, and I've distorted it with some overdrive, added some delay, and I've done the same or similar EQ trick, cutting the lows, band passing it, making sure it's focusing on the mid-range. Let's listen to that rolling toms section. And And you can do a similar thing like this with different types of percussion. For example, I've got a smear texture, which is the kick doing a different thing. And then I've got a breakbeat doing a similar thing, a little bit of a cut or like a small, short, repeated sample of a breakbeat. That's really like driving and sort of quite dark techno, that one, but it's good. And then artifacts, which is basically just different types of percussion all together. Let's have a listen to some of these with the original rumble and see what it sounds like. So the rolling toms are first. Okay, so you can see how that's adding a bit of groove in. Let's have a listen to this smear texture. Keep that one quite low in the mix. Okay, and then we've got the break beats. That sounds really good, that one. And then let's do artifacts, which is just a couple of percussion sounds. Let's add a few drums so you can see how the track is starting to build. So you can see how you can build all these levels of complexity. I think 3 layers is generally the best amount. I think when you start going over that, it sort of loses a bit of that rhythm and just goes back into being a bit too messy. So keep it simple, 1, 2, or 3 layers in your rumble, depending on what's on top. If you've got really big synths, then you probably don't need too much rumble. If your track is more drum and bass kind of heavy, then you can do all of these tricks and mix and match between them. That's it for this video. I hope that was useful. Try these techniques yourself. They're a lot of fun. You can also now support me on Patreon, and you can go to my website for audio services, sounds, and samples. Thanks very much, and keep producing.